JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Cops blame overtaking for four-fatality crash. Police have revealed that reckless overtaking was the cause of Sunday evening's collision that claimed the lives of four bikers on the Culden Main Road in White House, Westmoreland. The deceased are Kimani Thomas, Tevin Bailey, Renardo Fenton, and 22-year-old Arsenio Forbes, all from White House, Westmoreland. Reports from the Savlamore police are that Thomas was driving a high-rev motorcycle with Fenton as his passenger. Bailey was driving a missile motorcycle with Forbes as his passenger. Head of the Westmoreland Police Division, Superintendent O'Neil Dobson, says the crash occurred after an overtaking maneuver went wrong.
About 6:05 p.m. Sunday, June 16, two motorcycles with pillions on board were traveling in an easterly direction along the Culloden Main Road towards White House. They overtook an orange 2024 Yaris motorcar and collided in the front of a white Toyota IS, which was traveling in a westerly direction towards Savlamore. All four persons on the two motorbikes succumbed to their injuries. The police is currently investigating this accident.
The bus driver remains in hospital while the police investigate the accident. Superintendent Dobson is encouraging motorcycles to use the road correctly by wearing protective helmets and staying within the speed limit. The senior officer said the police are out prosecuting offenders and seizing their motorcycles. Taxi operator died after two-vehicle crash in Manchester. A taxi operator died from injuries he received in a two-vehicle collision along the Albion Main Road in Manchester on Monday morning. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Dave Woodley of Broadleaf. Woodley, who drove a white Toyota Probox, plied the Mandeville to Broadleaf Comfort route. The driver of the second vehicle, a Honda Accord, is in serious condition. Sergeant Floresel Williams, head of the Manchester Traffic Division, says driver error led to the crash, which occurred about 6 a.m.
I'm Sergeant F. Williams, attached to the Traffic Division, Manchester. Early indications came on the scene, we saw two. One is a white Toyota Probox. It's a public passenger vehicle that along with a Honda Accord motorcar. It's a private vehicle. Both vehicles were heading northerly from the direction of Knockpatrick towards Mandeville. Information and present. Honda was traveling ahead. Probox overtook the Honda. The driver inadvertently misjudged the clearance. Both vehicles collided. They lost control, climbed the left embankment, and both overturned the roadway. The Probox, the driver, was the only occupant of the vehicle. Both drivers were taken to Mandeville Hospital.
Woodley leaves behind 3 children. St. James man wanted for police shooting, arrested at visa appointment. A man was on the run for over 3 years for allegedly shooting at the police in St. James, was arrested while at a visa appointment at an embassy in the corporate area. 34-year-old Jim Warren, otherwise called Kino, of Top Hill, Mount Carey, St. James, was later charged with shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. The charges stem from a shooting incident on the night of Monday, February 5, 2018. The police report about 6:30 p.m. A team was on a patrol in Rentland, Mount Carey, St. James, when upon seeing the cops, one reportedly opened gunfire at them before escaping in the area. Years later, on Monday, June 3, 2024, Warren turned up at an embassy in St. Andrew where they applied for a visa. The police say checks made by the representatives revealed that Warren was listed among a group of wanted men in St. James. His application was denied, and he was immediately arrested and later charged for the 2018 shooting incident. His court date is being finalized. Exotic dancer fined $5,000 for indecent exposure and disorderly conduct in Spalding. An exotic dancer was among 2 people charged with indecent exposure and disorderly conduct following a sexual act on the street in Spalding, Clarendon, a week ago, was fined $5,000 on Monday when she appeared in court. The accused woman was brought before the Manchester Parish Court at Porus, where she pleaded guilty. She was fined $1,000 or 2 days for indecent exposure and $4,000 or 2 days for disorderly conduct. A man who engaged the exotic dancer in the sexual act remains on bail and is to be brought before the Parish Court at Spalding on Tuesday, July 23. Videos of the sexual act, which had gone viral on social media, show the couple engaging in a sexual act on each other in a bar and on the street. Sources said the couple were paid to perform the sexual act. This is totally ridiculous. St. Mary police say no headway made in quadruple shooting in Dover. The St. Mary police say they have made no headway in their probe of the shooting of 4 men, 2 fatally, in Dover on Ottaby on June 7. Superintendent Bobbitt Morgan Simpson, commanding officer of the St. Mary police, says the motive for the attack is still under investigation. It's reported that the men were among patrons at a bar when individuals approached and opened fire.
So in total, where serious and violent crimes are concerned, when they speak to serious and violent crimes, you're talking about murders, shootings, burglaries, robberies, rape, aggravated assault. Those are the crimes that we're talking about. So we've had 66 since the start of the year, and it's more than we had last year. Last year there were 47. We have quite a number of incidents that are out there, and a lot of them involves family members. Many of them involves family members. Some involve multiple times where some of these youngsters, as young as 12, have been repeatedly abused by males who are much older than they are. And so I have a very strong, small in numbers, but very vibrant Sissoko team. And I tell you something, when the Sissoko vehicle drives out, a lot of taxi men scatter in Port Maria, you never believe it, but it is true.
Court of Appeal frees man of murder after substantial miscarriage of justice. The Court of Appeal has freed Andre Nelson, who was convicted in June 2014 of murder, declaring that some comments from the trial judge provoked a substantial miscarriage of justice. Nelson was sentenced on July 14, 2014 to life imprisonment at hard labor and ordered to serve 20 years imprisonment before he could be eligible for parole for the murder committed in Bull Bay, St. Andrew. Witnesses have testified that Nelson and other men approached the victim and that Nelson shot him in the chest. When Nelson was apprehended by the police, he gave his name as Mario Bennett, but he later admitted to the police that he was Andre Nelson, also called Ants. He denied committing the murder. Nelson applied for leave to appeal his conviction and the sentence, but the transcript of the proceedings was not received by the Court of Appeal until August 21, 2020. On August 15, 2020, an appellate judge granted him leave to appeal and indicated that although the presiding judge, Bertram Morrison, gave adequate directions in most instances to the jury, he made some comments that were unfortunate. Attorney at law Emily Shields represented Nelson at the appeal hearing between January and February this year. Shields submitted that upon an examination of the transcript of the trial, the prosecution was clearly relying on lies told by Nelson during the police interview regarding his correct name to buttress other evidence of his guilt for the offense of murder. She alleged that the judge told the jury that Nelson's motive for his lie must have been a realization of guilt and fear of the truth. She also argued that the judge did not put to the jury Nelson's reason for the lie and at points appeared to pour scorn on his statements. The learned judge used a forbidden reasoning, which cuts to the core of the integrity of the conviction, rendering it unsafe as having come from a substantial miscarriage of justice, Shields argued. But the prosecution, represented by Crown Counsel Malika Kellier and Dwayne Green, submitted that the judge gave detailed and adequate directions to the jury on how they should treat the lies. They said it was after that the judge commented on the issue of whether Nelson had lied to the police. The Court of Appeal said the judge's comments to the jury were problematic. Importantly, the learned judge in the case at bar commented that the proven lies must have been a realization of guilt. The lie would have been a very important fact in the jury's assessment of the evidence, as the only evidence against the appellant rested on the identification evidence of the eyewitnesses the lie touched and concerned the appellant's identity. The effect of the comments of the learned trial judge is that they took away from the jury an important assessment of the facts that would form part of their ultimate determination as to whether the appellant was guilty or not guilty. This was a substantial miscarriage of justice. The court, comprising Justices Jennifer Straw, Nicole Foster Pusey, and Vivian Harris, said while they agreed with the position of the Crown that the evidence of identification was very strong, Nelson was deprived of a fair trial due to the nature and impact of the comments made by the judge concerning the lie. The judges said it would be inappropriate to appeal the conviction after such a serious error. On the issue of a retrial, the court ruled that the Crown had indicated that a retrial would not be appropriate because in reviewing its file, the statements of the two eyewitnesses cannot be found. The depositions taken at the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court and sent to the Criminal Registry at the Home Circuit Court cannot be found. It was also noted that the lawyer who represented Nelson at his trial cannot locate the statements that were disclosed to him. The court said the Crown had taken the position that having been left with only the transcript of the trial, that would not be enough to safeguard Nelson's right to a fair trial. In other circumstances, since there cannot be no retrial, and there has been a substantial miscarriage of justice, the conviction must be quashed, the court ruled. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.